The story starts with a fat boy eating a monster, telling himself that even if it's disgusting, even if it's pathetic, he must keep eating. He will change, devour, and hone the fangs of revenge. Previously, the boy is standing when another boy calls him a fatso, saying he's making life difficult for everyone, and then punches him. A group of students are bullying him when the main character, Marayama Nazoru, apologizes, asking them to just let it go already. Classmates tell him to then lose some weight. Another says he's an orphan, so how is he even fed when Nazoru tells them that's cruel? Just then the boy rushes at him, saying the cruel one is him, when suddenly Tokuyuki Takahashi intervenes. He grabs the guy, telling him not to dare bully his kids. He puts down his stuff, asking the students to say that again. If they've got a problem, then take it up with him. Looking at Takahashi, the student leaves, saying their mood is totally ruined. The other warns Marayama to remember this tomorrow. When Takahashi says not tomorrow, he will tell them right now. Afterwards, on their way back home, Takahashi asks Nazoru if he's okay with that, when Nazoru agrees, saying he's just a short, useless fat boy. It sucks, but even if they bullied him, he guesses he had it coming. Just then, Takahashi says he didn't. Who cares about how he looks? What matters is his heart. He cares about people, so that makes him a good kid. Nazoru asks really when Takahashi pats him, saying he doesn't deserve to be bullied. Marayama thinks this man is Takahashi. Takahashi inherited his parents' orphanage and now runs it as director. He took him in after he lost his parents at a young age, and he's raising other kids with the same fate. He's everybody's dad. They arrive at the orphanage, where everyone greets Takahashi. Just then, a girl arrives, saying finally Big Brother is back, and so Nazoru was with him. He welcomes them back. She is Tokuyuki Tsurugi. Nazoru greets her when she looks at his face and asks about those cuts. He's not getting bullied, is he? He tells her not to touch his face, otherwise her hands will get dirty. She gets angry, saying that's rude. Who is he calling dirty? He says that's not what he meant. He means her hands would get dirty when suddenly a magic circle appears below them. All of them get surprised, saying, "What's this?" The ground glows, and suddenly they arrive somewhere else. They look around when Takahashi asks everyone if they're okay. Where are they? Nazoru looks around, asking what this place is and their clothes. Just then, Reject Conning, the king of the kingdom of Jumagus, introduces himself. He asks them to forgive their rough invitation and thanks them for coming from a distant other world. They summon them to ask for their strength. He knows this is sudden, but please hear him out. Nazoru asks another world, summoned when Reject tells them the demon lords are disturbing their peace, so to defeat them they need their help. Yuki asks what's this and what's going on when Nazoru thinks just like an anime. The kind where they become a hero, so maybe here even he could become a man like Takahashi. Just then Takahashi refuses, saying fight them. That's crazy. They've got kids with them, so forget that and send them home. Just then Philia Conning, the princess of Jumagus, arrives, introducing herself as the king's daughter. She apologizes to Takahashi, telling him they brought them here, but right now they've no way to send them back home. Takahashi gets surprised, saying there's no way, she has got to be kidding. Why them? Don't drag them into this. She apologizes, telling him it's because of their lack of power they couldn't even choose who to summon. Yuki says there's no way, they were picked at random. Philia says, however, inside each demon lord lies an orb filled with mana. Whoever claims it can have any wish granted. Yuki says, and she expects even kids to fight for it when Philia disagrees, saying that's not what they want. Those summoned into this world are granted special powers, but most lie dormant. Abilities awaken only after the age of 15, so until then they will be taken care of here in the castle. Nazoru says so that means when Yuki says the kids don't have to fight. Takahashi says only the three of them when the king says he's glad they understand. Then without delay, let him show them their classes. Takahashi tells him to hold on when the king holds out a glass orb and says, "Class open." A screen appears in front of them when Nazoru looks at it and sees glutton written on it. He thinks, what's this? This is his class, as he tells Takahashi about it. Takahashi looks at his class as it's hot blood. He wonders what the hell that is when suddenly the guards look at Yuki's class. The king also looks at her, saying Sword Saint. When she looks at her title, it says Sacred Devourer. She asks if it's really that crazy when the king tells her it could change the whole war. Let them talk in detail if she doesn't mind over a meal. He asks everyone to come this way when all of the children rush toward the dining hall. Takahashi tells everyone not to just leave when Nazoru says he gets how he feels, but this is a world they know nothing about, and they've got no one else to rely on here. Hearing him say that, Takahashi says a full stomach is important, so fine then. If it's just eating and listening, then they will go. Just then, the king stops them, saying, but before that there's something they must tell them both. Nazoru asks something when the king agrees, saying he hates to say this, but both of them, they've never seen such classes before. Takahashi asks what the hell that's supposed to mean when the king says they only wish to confirm something. The guard slams shut the door when Takahashi asks, confirm. Just then the guards knock both of them out. After a while, Takahashi calls Nazoru, asking if he's okay. Nazoru opens his eyes and gets up when Takahashi says, "Thank goodness, it looks like he's fine." Nazoru asks what the hell just happened when Takahashi tells him he woke up here, but he doesn't get any of this either. He looks around, saying one thing is for sure. They've been brought to a dangerous place. Nazoru looks inside the cages, asking what are these monsters when Takahashi tells him it's like an arena. Just then, the king tells them, now then, he would like them to fight the monsters here. Both of them look at him, asking what did he say when the king says they must test their powers. Takahashi asks a test why when the king tells them, as he said before, their powers are unknown. Defeat these creatures and prove they're fit to be heroes. Nazoru says that's too much to ask when the king asks forgiveness for their roughness. They open the gates and a slime appears. Looking at it, Nazoru says those are monsters. There's no way he can fight something like that right away. Just then, Takahashi steps up, telling Nazoru to stay back, he will handle this. Nazoru tells him even for him, fighting monsters is too dangerous when the slime jumps up at him. Takahashi dodges it and then punches it back. The slime hits the ground and dies when Nazoru gets surprised, saying that's amazing. Takahashi looks at the king, saying even monsters in another world aren't much. He asks the king if he's satisfied now, send them back to the kids. The king stays silent when Takahashi looks at Nazoru, telling him to forget this demon king's nonsense, they're leaving. Nazoru says there's no way, when suddenly an orc appears behind him. Takahashi gets surprised. Just as the orc was about to attack Nazoru, Takahashi jumps in and protects him, but the orc hits Takahashi instead. Takahashi falls back when Nazoru runs up to him and picks him up, saying it's his fault, he protected him, asking if he's okay. Just then, Nazoru calls to the king, asking him to heal him. At this rate, he will die, but the king stays silent. The orc appears behind him again and attacks, but Nazoru dodges the attack. Looking at that, the king says, a man who falls to a mere orc and a boy who does nothing but run, they're worthless. The guards ask what they should do when the king looks at him running, saying still, this is entertaining. Monster battles are boring to him now, but when human lives are at stake, that's special. Nazoru thinks, so this is the king's true nature when the king starts laughing, saying it's fun watching pigs chase each other around. Hearing this remark, Nazoru gets angry, thinking even in another world he's mocked. Just then, Nazoru loses his balance from the impact. He falls and hurts his leg badly. The orc walks toward him when Nazoru thinks no matter where he goes, he can't change. Takahashi, still breathing, looks at him and calls him. He thinks he can't even protect one person important to him as he looks at the slime in front of him. Just then, a system appears in front of him, saying target for consumption confirmed, consume the slime. Nazoru thinks target for consumption. It's telling him to eat this. The orc attacks him, but he barely dodges, thinking that was close. He then looks at the orc, thinking at this rate he's going to get killed. He moves toward the slime, thinking why is he hesitating? He doesn't want to be useless anymore. He takes a bite, but just then tries to throw up. He tells himself not to vomit, but to eat more. Even if it's disgusting, even if it's miserable, he should keep eating and keep devouring. Just as the orc was about to attack, once again the system says slime consumed. Its existence has been absorbed successfully. Suddenly his body turns into a slime. The orc attacks him and hits him when the king laughs, saying pig fireworks. He has no endurance at all and is blown to pieces, but then gets surprised when Nazoru transforms back to his former self. He says his body is turning into a slime when the king says what? He gained the ability of the monster he devoured. Looking at him, he says what a filthy form. He then tells the orc the battle isn't over yet. He should kill him. The orc tries to attack him again, but just then Takahashi grabs the orc from behind, telling Nazoru he's looking pretty badass right now. Nazoru looks at him when Takahashi tells him under his feet there's a drain. With that form, he can escape. Nazoru says not without him when Takahashi tells him he can't, he's done for. At this rate, both of them will die, not just the two of them. The kids as well, even if their powers awaken, if that damn king doesn't need them, he will kill them too. So that's why even if it's just him, it's his last request. In his place saved Tsurugi and everyone. Nazoru starts crying. Takahashi apologizes for dumping this all on him, but he's counting on him. Just then, the king tells the orc to forget that worthless trash, but don't let anyone who knows his secret escape. Kill that slime first. Takahashi tells Nazoru to go now. Nazoru grits his teeth and then escapes through the drain. He thinks, just like in the old world, even here in another world he couldn't do a thing. He wasn't a hero, and he wasn't a savior, but he will change, so he swears. He will kill the king and save everyone. Nazoru screams, calling Takahashi as he starts crying, saying he swears he will save everyone. Just then, the system gives him a warning, saying a class upgrade for Glutton is available. However, with his current body structure, he can't maintain the class. To maintain the class, he must transform his body structure. He thinks upgrade, transform his body. If he doesn't, he will lose his power. This power is all he has got. He tells the system he will keep this power, so give it to him. The system confirms it and then starts transforming his body structure. Suddenly, his body begins changing and he screams in pain. After a while, he gasps heavily, saying he can't breathe. He then faints and falls into the water as the system announces his class has ranked up. Class Glutton has evolved into Class Demon Devourer. He then rises out of the water and wakes up, saying he blacked out. Just then, he sees his reflection and gets surprised, wondering if this is really him. His face and body have changed, and he's now muscular. He looks around, saying this place is when he suddenly remembers what happened before. He feels sad, thinking of everyone, then grits his teeth, telling himself he still isn't enough. The life Takashi saved, he can't waste it. First, he must escape this castle. But how? Just then, he notices a drain pipe. He thinks if he goes through here. Afterwards, he transforms into his slime form and moves into the pipe, saying it's pitch black. He can't see anything. Which way is the right direction? Then he sees a faint light and wonders if that's the exit. As he comes out, he realizes this place is a prison. Some strange place, too. He ended up back inside the castle, wondering if he should turn back. Just then, an old man speaks, saying a strange one has slipped in here. Nazoru gets surprised, saying the corpse spoke. Then he says there's no way, asking who the hell he is. The old man laughs, saying that's his line. No need for a name, he's just a slave. Nazoru is shocked, asking if this country still has slavery. The old man calls him odd, asking if slaves are rare to him. Nazoru thinks because of that king, what kind of country is this? If Takashi were here, then he would when suddenly he notices a bunch of keys. He opens the gate and asks the old man if he can stand. The old man says he never thought he would see the day he could leave here. Just then Nazoru hears someone groaning in pain and asks the old man if someone is deeper inside. The old man tells him he should best not go near. Nazoru insists, saying if someone is in there, there's no way he's leaving them. He asks if they're all right. He then sees a little girl with a parasitic plant latched onto her. Nazoru is shocked when the old man tells him it's a cannibal plant. The monster is latched onto her neck. She was used as an experiment to host that parasite. To protect its host, it will attack anyone who comes near. Nazoru asks a parasite an experiment. Why the hell would they when the old man tells him, for military use or just the king's amusement? Hearing this, Nazoru is shocked, then rushes inside, but the monster roars at him. He tells himself not to falter. With this body, even if it bites him, it won't hurt. He rushes in and grabs the plant. Just then, another plant appears, and he grabs it too. He holds it down, thinking he will suffocate it. After choking the plant, he thinks he did it, it's down. Now he just needs to pull this thing out of her neck. As he tries, the girl screams in pain, saying no. He quickly apologizes, telling her it's okay. He then thinks its roots are too deep inside her body, so pulling it would only cause her more pain. Just then, the girl begs him to kill her. She pleads with him, saying this plant, so long as the roots remain, it regenerates. It's agonizing, so please kill her. He says as long as the roots remain, so then how when suddenly the system says consumption target confirmed, consume cannibal plant. Nazoru asks what the hell, this isn't the time for that. But then he looks at the plant, thinking even in slime form could he still get its powers. The system says it's possible. He's surprised, saying it answered in his thoughts too. But the method of consumption as a slime, what is it? The system tells him slime consumption method, touch target to digest and absorb. He says just as he thought and thanks the system. He then tells the girl he might be able to save her, so trust him with her life. Please leave it to him. She agrees but says if it doesn't work, then please kill her. He clenches his fist, swearing he will make this work. In his mind, if he succeeds as a slime, then he will slip into her neck where the roots are. He enters her body and starts wrapping around the roots embedded inside. He thinks he can feel it, so now time to cover all the roots. He has got every root, so he envelops her whole body gently and warmly. Slowly her body eases and the pain fades. Nazoru says it's gone, but she fell asleep. Just then the old man says, what power unbelievable, but staying here any longer is dangerous. Nazoru agrees. The old man says if the guards notice when suddenly the door opens and he's shocked. Nazoru thinks he was really too loud. He didn't think about the guards coming. She won't wake up anytime soon either, so if they're found now, they're screwed. He then turns to call the old man, saying he will carry her on his back when suddenly he notices the old man with a sword pierced through his heart. A guard stands behind him, saying so. He's the accomplice to a prison break. Nazoru looks at the old man as the guard pulls out his sword and asks, who the hell is he? The old man falls and Nazoru shouts, what the hell is he doing? The guard says he's the one asking here. Who the hell is he and how did he sneak in here? Nazoru glares at him. The guard walks up saying, so he won't answer. Then he'll just kill him as he points his sword toward Nazoru. As Nazoru faces the guard, he thinks this is the worst-case scenario, just as he feared. The guard rushes at him and attacks, telling him to die, but when the sword hits Nazoru, nothing happens. His slimy body absorbs it. The guard is shocked, saying his wound healed immediately, asking who the hell he is. Nazoru notices an opening and thinks now is his chance. He shouldn't hesitate. Fight, don't back down now. He can do this. He rushes toward the guard and punches him in the face. He says it worked, but the guard just wipes the slime off his face, surprising Nazoru. The guard says with a squishy punch like that. Nazoru realizes it didn't work. His slime fists don't have enough power. The guard then says this is the first time he has seen a humanoid slime. In that case, he will just smash that core in his chest. That will kill him. Hearing that, Nazoru is shocked, thinking so that's his weakness. The guard asks what's with that look on his face. Did he just find out now, or maybe it doesn't matter either way because he'll just cut him open and find out. He swings his blade again, forcing Nazoru to keep dodging. Nazoru thinks he's stuck on the defensive. Just then, the guard pins him against the wall, saying he's got him, then attacks. He cuts through Nazoru's body but misses, and Nazoru thinks he can't keep this up. It's time to test that new power. His hand transforms into cannibal plants. The guard stares in shock, asking what the hell that hand is. He's not just a slime. Nazoru thinks this might work. He can even combine it with the slime's new power. He rushes at the guard, shouting at him to take this. The guard scoffs, asking if he's really coming at him head-on, then he came here to die. He stabs through Nazoru, but suddenly Nazoru transforms fully into slime, dodging the attack, and then reappears below him, grabbing him by the neck. The guard is shocked as the cannibal plant bites into his throat. The guard quickly cuts Nazoru's hand off, forcing him to retreat. Nazoru thinks he barely scratched him. The guard, now furious, rushes at him again. Nazoru trembles, thinking he's about to die. But then the guard falls to his knees, marks spread across his neck. Nazoru stares, realizing that last hit the plant parasitized him. The guard collapses and dies. Nazoru looks at him, asking if he's really dead. He breathes heavily, then suddenly hears the girl's voice. He looks at her as she calls out, asking who he is. He sighs in relief, saying thank goodness she's already recovered. But she starts trembling, staring at his hand, and says, that hand. Don't tell her that's the cannibal plant. Just then Nazoru tells her not to be scared. This is his ability. When he absorbed that plant, it became a part of him, and this old man, he was with him. They escaped, but then came the guards. Hearing that, she says, so his skill is a copy ability. He absorbed the plant and gained its power. Nazoru agrees, thanking her for quickly understanding the situation. She then asks if he's the one who saved her. Suddenly, she bows, saying to speak so rudely to her savior. She's really sorry. He says it's fine. More importantly, he introduces himself, and she introduces herself as Libra Plantain. Libra then thanks him for saving her from hell and says that to repay him, she will do anything. She grabs his hand when he says anything. That's a bit much. She holds onto his hand, thinking this hand has such a gentle warmth. No doubt it's the hand that saved her. She then asks, by the way, his power. Is he from another world? He gets surprised when she says those with unusual powers are usually otherworlders. He tells her his power is to copy abilities of anything he consumes. Originally, it was Glutton, but it upgraded to Demon Devourer. She says she has never seen that in any records, but it's fascinating. He asks if she thinks so. Honestly, he doesn't fully understand it himself, but anyway, now isn't the time. Let's get out of this castle first. Just as he was about to leave, she tells him to wait, saying before that there's somewhere she would like to stop by. It should help them in their escape. He asks help in escaping. Afterwards, he asks if she needs something from a place like this. It looks like a garbage dump after raining, but it seems like they can get outside from here. He looks at the wall, thinking it's pretty high up, but with his body now it's doable. He then turns and sees Libra putting on clothes and equipment. He asks what she's doing even if it's trash. Stealing is forbidden. She disagrees, telling him this is hers. She finally got back what they confiscated. She then gives him a cloth, telling him to put this on. Afterwards, he helps her escape, saying just a little more she can do it. Use both her hands. She tells him she can't, or he will see. He tells her he won't look. After escaping, she thanks him when he says they're outside. They both look at the castle. Nazoru grits his teeth, thinking Takashi. He's sorry he can't do it yet, but someday he swears he will come back and save everyone. He then tells her, let's go. Inside the castle at the dinner table, everyone looks at the food, saying this is insane. They've never eaten anything like this. It's crazy good. Yuki is sitting in her chair when a girl asks if she's not eating. Yuki tells her she was just about to when the girl says it tastes better hot. Just then, the king walks in, asking everyone how it is. Are they enjoying the meal? Yuki quickly gets up from her chair when the king asks what troubles her. She says Big Brother and Nazoru haven't come back yet. The king asks if she means those two. She asks if he knows something, and he tells her they already left on the journey to defeat the Demon King. Yuki says there's no way, when the king says her brother left him a message. They couldn't let anyone be put in danger, so they went on ahead. Take care of the children. Hearing that, all of the children say Big Bro is already gone on a journey. That's awesome. Another asks, awesome, but isn't that way too dangerous? Yuki says exactly, they just got here. The king tells her not to worry because they provided them with abundant funds, top-tier gear, and as much support as possible. He tells her to focus on training for now so she can help them as soon as possible. He then leaves, closing the door. A guy arrives, saying that was fast if he found them. The guy says the prison was ransacked and there's no trace of them. The king tells him to issue wanted posters, hunt down and kill that humanoid slime. Afterwards, Nazoru says thank God they made it out of the capital safely. Coming out through the water left them completely soaked. He asks Libra if she's ready when she apologizes, telling him not yet. He quickly looks away when she tells him she can finish soon, just a little longer, please. He agrees, telling her let's try to get as far as possible while it's still dark. Afterwards, on their way, he asks if her backpack is heavy, offering to carry it. She thanks him but says she's fine. He then calls her, asking if she's sure she's okay not going back home. Doesn't she have a family who is worried about her? Staying with him could be dangerous. She tells him it's fine, she intends to devote this life to him. Besides, she has no family who is worried about her. As long as he allows it, please let her stay by his side. He says he doesn't mind, but then she says more importantly, why did he leave the king's side? He says right, he hasn't explained properly. After explaining everything to her, he says so basically that happened. That's why he will get stronger and save everyone, although he wonders if he can truly save them all. Just then, she says in that case, how about he tries monster hunting? He asks monster hunting. She says considering his Demon Eater ability, consuming more monsters could be the key. He asks what do monsters really appear everywhere? She points towards the forest, saying in that forest they should be living there. This area is too close to the capital, so monsters don't show themselves easily, but in the wild they lurk. He says all right, let's head into that forest. Inside the forest, they're hunting down rabbits when Nazoru says it's fast. They corner one of the rabbits, but just as Nazoru was about to attack, the rabbit jumps up on his arm and attacks him. Nazoru dodges the strike when the rabbit hits a tree and breaks it in a single blow. Looking at its power, Nazoru gets scared, saying it's a good thing he had slime powers. It's more dangerous than he thought. Libra says it seems so it's a monster after all. He then says what do? They might be the ones hunted instead. Libra tells him maybe they should look for something smaller. He says that's a good idea. Then they encounter a rabbit monster, an Almiraj, drinking water. He thinks it hasn't noticed them, so if he sneaks up from behind. He then grabs it, thinking yes, it's pinned. Now if he wraps around it, he can suffocate it. Just then the system says consumption target found when Libra runs up towards him, saying he did it. Now he just has to eat it. He says it's a little underhanded, but this way he will gain its power. Just then a beast screams, and Nazoru asks what was that sound. Libra tells him that sounded like an Almiraj cry, but suddenly one of the beasts falls in front of them. Looking at it, Nazoru says that's the one they were chasing earlier. He then says something is coming, when suddenly a wild boar appears, charging towards them. Looking at it, Nazoru asks what's that thing. The beast stands in front of them when Nazoru thinks they've run into something nasty, but if he can take its power, then this is his chance. He tells Libra to get somewhere safe when she asks if he's actually going to fight. He rushes towards the beast, thinking it might take some time to parasitize, but if he can bind it with the plant's power. He then jumps and attacks the beast, saying it worked, but just then the beast counters and slams him into a tree hard. He says what strength, but the parasite should have taken hold. All he needs is to stall for time until it weakens. The beast rushes towards him and attacks with its horns. It pierces through his body when he wonders if he can really last an endurance battle with this thing. If that had hit his core earlier, he would be dead. Just then, he notices the parasite budding. He says how the hell is it still moving this much, if he can just hold on a bit longer. Suddenly, the beast turns its body into flames. Nazoru says its flames are flaring up. It boosted its power and burned down the parasitic plant. If the plant doesn't work, then he will use the slime power. Just like this, he will smother and suffocate it. He holds the beast's face, saying it's working, when suddenly the beast unleashes its flames once again. Nazoru gets surprised, saying the flames are getting stronger. His body starts evaporating, forcing him to move back. The beast looks at him when he thinks if both plant and slime won't work then. Just then, Libra tells him to please consume this as she throws the Almiraj towards him. Looking at it, Nazoru thinks the Almiraj he killed earlier. He has no choice but to bet on its power. But just then the beast strikes the Almiraj and burns it to ash. Looking at it, Nazoru thinks that was his last card and it's already gone. The beast then starts throwing flames everywhere when Nazoru gets surprised, saying this is no good. This enemy is too much. He tells Libra they have to retreat and she agrees. Just then the beast creates a fire circle around them and he grits his teeth, saying even the escape route.